Hello everybody and welcome to the 22nd episode of the Chesterfield of Dreams, and today we're getting into the thick of Season 4 here in the League 1 division, and we have a fair amount to talk about as we try to make amends for last season's major disappointment of not even getting into the top 6, which was required for the playoffs. But definitely things are mixed, to say the least. We've won half of our games in the first 10, and we've lost 4 and drawn 1 in between that, with a whopping 16 goals conceded, 19 scored. So there's no end to excitement at the Proact Stadium. Down at the bottom, Shrewsbury, who we play today, have only won twice and lost 8 times, so we'll hopefully exploit that. Oldham, Fleetwood and Doncaster occupy those places, while Peterborough have just played an extra game. So Colchester have been the early pace setters, with Swindon, Crawley, Rotherham and Scunthorpe also in the playoff positions. We're behind Tranmere and just ahead of the likes of Millwall, Coventry, Rochdale and Leyton Orient, who actually signed Papi Cisse on a free transfer, which is quite unbelievable, and that was definitely a great signing. But let's just look at our fixtures, as there is a lot of them to look at. Since it's been quite a while since the last update when we lost to Birmingham, but to confirm what happened at the end of the season, Blackpool, we beat them 2-0, and then we lost 1-0 to Rochdale. So not a great ending to the season, and it was only good enough for 7th, which was very infuriating. But we're so close, since Millwall nearly bottled it themselves, and Birmingham ended up getting the promotion through the playoffs, so that's rather disappointing. But now let's talk about our actual fixtures. The pre-season, I made sure that our players were given more time to train, as they were usually exceptionally unfit in time for the real season. So I didn't do a perfect job with them, but I think we did well enough, and a few positive results to talk about. But let's begin with the league itself. And Cambridge were too good for us, despite a perfect start. Thanks to Lee Griffiths, we conceded twice in the first half straight away, and Cambridge got a surprise victory over us, which leads us on to our next game here against York City, which was actually our first ever success in the Capital One Cup. We've been beaten every other time in the first round in the last 3 seasons, so it was great to get a convincing win like that. And another concerning result here against Scunthorpe. Even though they're doing well, we took a 2-0 lead into half time and then blew it in the second half, and they really should have won it. I think they were much better as the time went on. And then we got our first win of the season away to Swindon Town, and definitely was a good game for Charlie Raglan. He got a goal, and then Wesley Fotheringham scored an OG, so frustrating for him. But then Colchester, the unbeaten team, again we let a lead slip at home. Jordi Hawula was there to poach in the first half, but Andrew Williams got a brace and that buried us. Then a Derbyshire derby against Derby and it was unfortunately a losing effort, as once again we took the lead and then lost it. But I suppose when Derby County, they only got relegated, I think, from the Premier League, they're now back in the Championship. Yeah, that's right, they're in the Championship 9th at the minute, so you can't really blame me for losing that one. But it's frustrating that our home record is poor, and our away record yet again continues to impress, with Jordi Hawula scoring twice and one of our new signings, Kenji Gore, scoring as well. So that was a much better performance. But then in the Johnston's Paint Trophy, we were dumped out, as Scunthorpe again gave us a tough game, and they had 2 goal scorers for the 3 goals there. Barnsley, another interesting affair, but we were much better in this game, and Lee Griffiths got his brace, which guaranteed the victory. But then they gave us a bit of a late scare. They probably could have done a better job in the first half, but you can't really pin that on me. And then a thrilling game against Peterborough, who are now top of the league. We are losing all these big games, which is very annoying. How to describe it? Well, let's start with the early goal they scored through Etienne Veliconia. The 3rd minute, then they got another one, 2-0. Jimmy Ryan made it 2-1, excuse me, and then as the second half began, they got a goal straight away. We pinned them back to I think 4-2 or 3-2 at this stage through Gubliaribli, but then Oh, Chris Eagles. Chris Eagles made it 4-1. Gabila Aribli made it 4-2. Thomas Bratton made it 4-3, and we nearly burst through the resistance, but it wasn't to be. Kenji Gore was not badly hurt through his injury, which is great. Millwall, definitely our poorest performance this season. At home as well, we had Adam Reddington getting a start, and he really let me down, getting sent off, but it was already game over by then, thanks to goals from Routledge, Twardek and Sam Gallagher. Tranmere, we immediately got our goal difference repaired through Huula, Bratton and Kingsley. Kingsley scoring his very first goal for the club. And then dramatic affair against Rochdale, as it looked like we'd done the dirty yet again, giving away a late goal, but it was the captain's marvel, Jack Price, who was upset about being rehabilitated so slowly. He came back as Jimmy Ryan was injured, and he scored a priceless 90th minute goal from a Lee Griffiths free kick. So that was definitely one to save our season. It was looking really bad, but we were so proud of that one. Jack Price scoring his very first goal for the club. And we have a difficult October. Portsmouth, never easy. Walsall there, not great, but you never know. Rotherham are in the top 5, and Doncaster in the relegation zone with Fleetwood to start November. With the FA Cup to look forward to as well, but definitely a mixed start to the season. But we want to look at our transfers next, and here they are as follows. Two of them you'll recognise, of course, Noe Baba from Fulham and Stephen Kingsley's. Their contracts ran out, so I decided, yeah, of course I'll have them. Jacob Rinne from Sweden is our new #1 goalkeeper if he continues to play the way he has, with a 6.98 average and 6 appearances and 7 goals conceded, which is pretty formidable. But you know, obviously he's not a homegrown player, but if he does play the way he has, he'll be a great asset for the future. And then our last signing, also from Swansea, as I needed a new winger, as I let go of Callum Harriott, and I decided to go for the right hand side this time. And Kenji Gore, who has a nationality, heritage in the Netherlands, England and Suriname, so he is homegrown from Manchester United, which is very useful. So we were never going to hesitate in signing him up, and so far so good, I think. Out of the club, Miles Wright, he was the backup goalkeeper, and it was time for him to go. Callum Harriott has gone to Luton Town, and he's done a very handy job for them thus far, so I'm glad he's finding football to be a joy instead of a chore, but he just didn't fit our needs. Miles Wright has gone to Leamington. Fair few loans out as well. That was the only big news. But Simon Tipple is in the first team squad, and he's recently extended his loan to, or he's about to extend his loan to Chester, and he's done okay for them so far. But I think it's best to let him go, even though Noe Baba is injured. But we can always recall him back. I added the clause recall from loan if possible, so the 6'4" defender can be recalled back at any time once that new deal is accepted. So just in case we get another injury, we can bring back our other handy youngster. And that's pretty much I need to talk about there. In terms of the squad, we'll sort out things now. I changed up to a 4-4-2 after being the 4-2-3-1. It usually doesn't garner the results, but I think we're looking pretty decent now. We'll look at, I think the 4-4-2 is allowing us to play with better confidence and flow, so I think it's paid off, as Jordi Huula is our best ranked player thus far, and he's tied the most amount of goals scored with Lee Griffiths, who's just behind him there. Thomas Bratton, 7.15 average rating, definitely not something to shake a stick at. He has been very solid. He scored 3 times actually in the league, and his last 5 games have been really good. And it's a shame he has to compete for first team football all the time. Sean Hutchinson is just recovering from injury. He got a very slight injury, and he got knocked out of the last game, even though he was so good in the last one. So it's always something with me, to be honest. But good old Sean, he signed a new contract eventually, as I could only tie him down until 2019, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. Daniel Jones is next, even though he's only played 5 games. Jacob Rinne there. Charlie Ragland, 6.92. You can always depend on him. Stephen Kingsley, 6.91. He's been the more the more required left back, so that's great. Daniel Jones has mainly been cup duty while I rested Kingsley. Jay O'Shea 6.9, Kenji Gore 6.89. Ariebly, I've moved him out on the left now, as he can play naturally in attacking midfield left, and he can sort of play midfield left, so that's why I've moved him there. Jimmy Ryan now injured. He has 6.82 and he scored a goal, which is fairly rare. And then after that, no one else has above 6.8, so that is disappointing. But down the bottom there, Owen Doyle, I just don't know what's wrong with him. I think I will sell him. I was giving him one last chance to prove himself. I just think he's lost all confidence and needs to find a new club to revive his career. Gary Roberts is definitely getting old now. His powers are fading, and we'll have to build new left wingers to replace him in future. Sean McDonald, I don't know what the matter is with him. He's played a lot of league games and he just doesn't seem to get credited for performances, but he's usually inconsistent. Cody Cropper, now that I have 3 goalkeepers, I wanted him to get out on loan, but no club was interested at all, even for no wages, so that's annoying. But he's only played the 1 game thus far for the first team. Matt Doherty out injured as well, and DeVille yet to get a start, but he's still recovering to get full fitness. And Tommy Lee, I think he's a year away from a testimonial match, so I'm going to do everything I can to keep him happy, because if you do the maths, we just need to get him 1 more season at the club, and then we can get a testimonial match for him, as I've never had a testimonial before. Since in FM14 I constantly switch clubs, and in FM13 the feature wasn't invented yet, which would have really improved my enjoyment of the Le Mans Odyssey. But let's just talk about those injuries now, or anyone I missed. Noah Baba got a bad one. He is still recovering from a hip injury through a specialist doctor, so I hope to have him back soon, considering I just got on a permanent. Matt Doherty literally just knocked out from a damaged shoulder in training, so that's really limited our abilities to play right backs, as Luke O'Neill hasn't had many league games, and his average appearances, or his average rating, kind of proves why. Anyone else need to talk about? I think, yeah, Jack Price has recovered from his injury, so he'll get to play. And apart from that, I don't think anyone else has needed to go to the physios for treatment, so that's good. But one thing I do need to say is we're down a staff member. We've signed new staff, but we couldn't re-sign one of the goalkeeping coach. We let go of everybody, and then we couldn't make anyone else upgrade or anything, so Peter Enkelman has to take goalkeeping duties full time now, since I let go of our old goalkeeping coach. And we're still limited by the amount of coaches we can have. See, we're only allowed to have 7 there. Sorry, I should probably say over. We're only allowed 7 coaches, and I have 8 at the club at the minute. I used to have 9, so yeah, that's kind of a concern. We'd love to get more coaches back in future. You can see John Relish was my director of football. He's gone. Eric Nixon, my goalkeeping coach, is gone, and Jerry Carr, who just couldn't get his pro license. I don't know, like, his motivation is very low, and he just cannot get his pro license, and that's really heartbreaking to see. So in their place I signed Danny Harrison. I can't get him any coaching qualifications, which is annoying, but he's really good for a first time coach, or whatever you want to call him, a boardroom member. And then in the head of youth development, Mike Green, we'll probably want to send him on a coaching course right away, because some of those stats are really, really tasty. So let's see if we can get one. Alright, no, he doesn't have interest, so whatever. Yeah, that's the conclusion of the episode now. The competitions, we are out of 2 cups already, you would have seen, so it's literally just League 1 and the FA Cup remaining, so it's kind of monotony really. There's not much we can do, to be honest, but we'll just have to try and progress as quickly as we can through the pyramid system, get back in that championship. I'll come back after another 10 games, because we've got Leyton Orient and Bristol City. Those are always very exciting games. for us to watch, so we'll probably live com one of them for the crack and see what the story is. But for now, I'll speak to you again very soon. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and any comments, leave them down below, as I always love to read them. Bye for now, everybody.